Hey folks, welcome back. It's been 7 weeks since I seeded this lawn from bare dirt. It's been an adventure, but it's time for an update. When you look at it from this perspective, this lawn looks amazing, but there's definitely some ugly in this lawn. Now, the last video I released was a 2-week post-seeding. Somewhere between week 3 and week 4, our area experienced something rather strange. A dome of warm and humid air settled over our region for several days. It was the perfect condition for something I've never experienced. Fungus. Yes, the STD for lawns. Pythium blight fungus. In my panic, I rushed over to my local Ace Hardware and got a bag of Disease X, and I applied a curative rate. But the damage was done. Being late in the season, overseeding is just wasting good seed. So I've been really focused on nursing my lawn back to a healthy state. And this is where we are today. It's been 3 days since the last cut, so it should be about 1 3/4 inches, and it's definitely ready for another cut. Everything is smooth with no signs of mower ruts. This soil has settled in really well. My mowing experience has been extremely enjoyable. At week 5, once the fungus was gone, I started my Nitrogen Blitz with a few other things, which I'll talk about later. I'm not sure you can see it due to the angle of the sun, but this lawn is a beautiful deep green. I've been using my McLean manual reel mower on this lawn. I know, I love my Fiskars too, but the 10 blade just has a beautiful cut on the first pass. With the high mowing frequency in fall, I prefer only one pass per mow. You can really see the benefit of a reel mower by looking at the tips of the grass blade. The cut is clean with minimal tip browning. It is just so absolutely beautiful. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a far cry from the disaster that I had before. In the next week, I will be applying my final herbicide for the year to get us through the fall and winter months. This side section had grown in considerably. There are some thin spots, but if you remember the crop circles I had during germination, you would have never guessed this was the trouble spot. This spot had the worst crop circle. It's thin, but it's tillering, so it helps to hide the thin sections until spring. If you remember this area, I had to use a straw mat to get anything to germinate. It has filled in well, but will also need an overseed in spring. There's definitely thin spots near the landscaping, but it all turned out better than I expected. Let's check out the backyard. You can definitely tell the difference between the ryegrass and the bent grass. It's filled in pretty well, but it's not ready for any putting. The bent grass is spreading, but will need more time to spread. If you remember, the fringe area was covered with sand, which I seeded with rye. I found that the perennial rye does not germinate well in sand. I had to top dress it with soil, so it's another spring overseed. It still looks and feels so much better than what I had before. I'm really looking forward to spring. Let's talk about the products that I've been applying. I mentioned earlier that I'm doing a fall nitrogen blitz. I added a link in the description to Jesse's video with lawnlife on the nitrogen blitz. I've done it for 2 seasons now, and it works fabulously. This year, I'm adding humic acid and sea kelp. There has been some debate about humic benefits, but with everything I've read and watched, it's more about soil benefits. This humic acid from GS Plant Food also contains fulvic acid, which is supposed to really open the plant cells for enhanced nutrition uptake. Now for the sea kelp. I admit it's a bit of a weird thing, but it helps with root growth, chlorophyll production, along with other things. I also added a very interesting video from Premier Lawns on sea kelp in the description. I've been applying these products weekly for the past 2 weeks and noticed some things. The first is that it has an almost embarrassingly deep green color compared to the surrounding lawns. I would typically experience greening during my Nitrogen Blitz, but never this deep of a green. I would probably attribute this to the sea kelp increasing the chlorophyll production. I also noticed that my first application of nitrogen took effect almost overnight. The grass was quick to green, then after a day or two, the deep green settled in. I truly believe that the fulvic acid and the sea kelp help the grass process the nitrogen more effectively. The last product I've been applying is the Sturgo fungicide. It's certainly an investment, but necessary in caring for your elite turf-type lawns. Application is about 3 to 4 week cadence. Anyway, I will be continuing this application regimen until there's snow on the ground or when things really slow down. I will be putting together a future video to outline my renovation process and all the steps required to be successful, even when I failed. So, if you like this video, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and keep on cutting.